Creepy doll. This story starts from the time of 1918. At the time of 1918, there was a small boy whose name was Okiku. He was roaming in the market with the money he had collected because he needed it for his younger sister Kiki. Kiki's birthday was about to come, and he wanted to get the very best gift for his younger sister, a gift that would make his sister very happy and to make her birthday special. Okiku, the brother, searched the entire market, but he was not able to find anything that would be the perfect gift that he could give to his sister. He browsed the entire market, but did not find anything, but finally his eyes went towards a shop, and inside that shop, there were glass panels on the outside. There was a doll kept there. As soon as he saw it, Okiku knew that this is the perfect gift that he can give to his younger sister. There was a doll kept in that shop, and that doll was wearing traditional Japanese clothes, and that doll's hair was very long, and it had a peaceful face. Okiku went and bought that doll and got it packed so that he could give it to his sister on her birthday. Okiku came home and gifted that doll to his sister Kiki on her birthday. As soon as Kiki, the younger sister, saw that doll, she fell in love with that doll. It almost seemed as if Kiki could no longer see anything else in the whole world except that doll. And from that day onwards, Kiki started loving that doll. Kiki never left the doll. Alone, he always stayed with her. She used to comb the doll's hair also, and she also washed her doll every week. She kept it almost like her younger sister. They were inseparable, and after seeing this thing, her brother was very happy because he felt that he had bought the perfect gift for his sister, and Kiki used to sleep with that doll along with her. After Kiki's birthday, no one saw Kiki and the doll separately, but Kiki's happiness did not last long. One day, Kiki was playing outside the house with the same doll, where she was bitten by a mosquito, due to which Kiki got malaria, and Kiki's condition had become so bad that she could not even breathe properly. She was in pain, but when she was struggling even at that time, she was holding her doll. The whole time, her doll was with her, and then Kiki died. That little girl died due to malaria. The whole family was broken.
Her brother was not able to understand what to do when the whole family was going to bury her. So they thought that Kiki's doll, which she loved so much, should also be buried along with her. But due to some religious reasons, they could not do this. So they thought that they would keep that doll with them. After the burial of the little girl, the whole family took that doll home with them, and they kept that doll on a proper shelf. And they also named that doll Kiki as a memory. They had kept that doll very lovingly. Her brother had kept it on the side shelf with great love. The family members kept seeing that doll while walking, and now the story is a bit creepy from here. It starts happening that one day the elder brother was roaming inside the house, and suddenly he noticed that the hair of that doll seemed a little long. He went and got it checked. It was released that yes, the doll's hair has actually grown long. He couldn't believe how the doll's hair is growing because it is a non-living thing. Obviously, its hair can't grow, but that doll's hair is growing. He also noticed that earlier the doll's hair was completely black, but when he was checking, he saw that some brown shade hair were also on the head of the doll, and those hairs had grown just like human hair. And they were getting split from the ends. Those hairs were breaking. No one could tell by looking at the hair of that doll that it was not the hair of a real human being. That boy went and told his family, and the family couldn't believe it. He thought he was hallucinating, and he trimmed the doll's hair. And this was his biggest mistake, because as soon as he trimmed the doll's hair, suddenly his life became hell. The three family members, Mom, Dad, and the brother, were having continuous nightmares, and the nightmares were not even such simple ones. They were the most extreme nightmares. It had become difficult for them to sleep. They were not able to understand what was happening. Their lives were completely disrupted. A lot of paranormal activities had started taking place in their house. The family members noticed several times that some things in the house had been moved from one place to another. They had started experiencing many paranormal things. Many times the family had seen the doll moving while sleeping at night. Now we came to know that there was a moment in the middle where Kiki's dad, who was the head of the family, he also woke up once at night. And as soon as he woke up, he saw that doll in front of him. The doll itself was strange that none of the three of them had kept that doll there. In a way, the doll was moving on its own. And at this point, the family lost their mind. The family did not know what to do. They had understood that all the nightmares they were having, all the paranormal activities happening in their house, like hearing screaming sounds at night. They used to hear banging sounds like someone was knocking on a door very loudly, or someone was screaming, and they also heard the scream of a little girl. There were many such things, and the family was not able to understand it all. But the terrifying twist is that the doll was not with that family for 1 or 2 years. In fact, she has been with them for the past 20 years. That family has made all this journey. How can someone live in such house for 20 years? But that family was living there. That means after a few days of Kiki's death, that doll starts teasing that family, and that family bears all nightmares and paranormal activities from past 20 years. And every year, all these paranormal activities kept increasing. The family had noticed this thing during those 20 years, that whenever Kiki's birthday was approaching, they would start feeling strange things in the house. Now the family has understood that whatever is happening, it is very possible that it is happening because of that doll. So the family called many priests, many people who could bless their house and cleanse this doll. And many priests came and tried, but whenever they tried to cleanse that doll, the life of that family became more miserable and more paranormal activities increased. That family tried a lot to clean that doll, but they could not do it. So after 20 years, that family planned that they have to throw this doll at any circumstances. They were sad because they loved that doll as their daughter's memory. And also now, they will have to change their house because they felt that this could also be the reason for all this. That the grave of Kiki, who had died, was very close to their house, so they understood that they would have to move, so they made a plan. They were planning to shift when they were traveling. That family gave that doll to Menenji Buddhist temple. There is a temple in Japan. This doll is still inside it. That family gave this doll to that temple, and they told all the priests and the people of that temple the whole story of what they felt around this doll. They told everything about the doll. The priest of the Buddhist temple also tried to cleanse that doll, but that doll did not make any difference. So all the priests of that Buddhist temple have properly packed that doll and kept it in that temple, and this doll is still there. When this doll was kept in that temple, all people of that temple started having nightmares. But now this doll cannot be kept anywhere else, and after some time the people of the temple also started noticing that the hair of that doll is growing. At present, it has become a big tourist attraction. Many people come to see that doll and visit it to see whether this doll is really real or not, and whether its hair actually grows or not. But those who come to see that doll also start having nightmares and a lot of paranormal activity. And recently, many tourists have reported that the mouth of the doll is also opening slowly, and whoever looks inside her mouth can also see teeth. They can see that the teeth of that doll are also growing. We are residents of California, but because my father is in the army, we keep getting postings. We were in Madera County. I was in the 4th class that day. It was my sister's birthday. Suddenly, my grandfather called us, and he was crying a lot, and he told while crying that after a fight in the house, my aunt tried to commit suicide, and the doctor will try their best to save her, but can't say anything. Then we all starts crying, but my brother, he was absolutely in a state of shock. He was closest to my aunt. He couldn't believe that all this was really happening. That's why my father booked the flight ticket, and because it was difficult for everyone to go so soon, only my mother and father went to my aunt. A year after his death, our mother told us that aunt had a spirit shadow under whose influence he had committed such a big crime. After coming back from my grandmother's house, something happened which I could not even imagine. My brother was very fond of building his body. As every teenage boy does, he was exercising, but suddenly he left the dumbbell and turned back. He walked less and became unconscious. We all ran to him and splashed water on his face. After some fear, he came to his senses, and the first thing he asked was how I did come here. I am a policeman. We thought that my brother had exhausted himself too much, so my mother stopped him from exercising. After some time, my brother went to play cricket. There was an iron pole which had fallen down. There was a small house where small children were also playing. So my brother, thinking that no one should be hurt, so he tried to lift the iron pole and throw it aside. Then a part of it cuted his whole hand, and while falling, it went on tearing his hand. There was no thought in our mind as to why all this was happening with my brother. After 2 months, my cousin's wedding was going on. Everyone had gone to the wedding procession. My brother went to the bus. Halfway there was a black cat in front of the bus. She was sitting, due to which the driver suddenly hit the brakes, and then a broken glass fell on my brother's head from the top of the bus. He lost a lot of blood. His physical condition was deteriorating day by day. He had become very thin and started to have some dignity. He has been to many doctors, many tests have been done, but everything was normal. Seeing all this, yesterday my aunt suggested that we should go to some priests in church, but my father didn't believe in these things at all. So he disagreed that we don't, and he said we should go to a good doctor, not to any priest. Only then your brother will be fine. He said this, but on the insistence of my mother and aunt. They went to the famous church of that place, and after that my brother told my mother that since some time after the passing of my aunt, he used to see her in his dreams. She used to see black cats everywhere, and this time when I had gone to grandmother's house, while walking outside, I saw my aunt, and as soon as my brother moved closer towards her, so there was something strange spread under his feet. Then he felt some strange flower under his feet, but there was nothing there. From then, these whole things started with him. Then his mother told this all thing to the priest, and that the priest told her that she was asking for blood from my brother. That is why he was getting so many injuries, because your son was so close to her. And then that priest also tells the solution to his mother to go and take your son again to his grandmother's house and make your son say these words, "Evil spirit, leave my life. I will never come again to tease you." Say these whole sentences 3 times, and then he gave water to his mother and said to her that when your son completes sentences, then sprinkle this on your son. Then her mother took him to his grandmother's house and completed the full process and came back to their home. And after 2 to 3 days, my brother was started recovering himself, and within 1 week he recovered him completely. All paranormal activities stopped automatically with my brother till now. Now my brother is absolutely fine. He is married and has a small and lovely baby, but he will probably never experience this.